So, last episode in our survival series, we reached a very important milestone. We got the Elytra, and I guess shulker shells, but they're not that important. Anyway, so to commemorate this amazing achievement, I have decided to compile every single video so far, so you guys can witness all of the amazing builds I have done and all of the funny moments that have happened along the way. Of course, there's not that many funny moments because I'm not that funny, am I? And before I forget, stay tuned till the end of the video to find out how you can get this world download for absolutely free. And now, get a snack, get a drink, and have fun watching. If you like my videos, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. And now with that shameless piece of advertisement out of the way, I can actually let you watch the video. At this point, you're probably used to me starting every video with, I got bored. This is no exception. I got tired of the creative environment, so I decided to go back to my roots and play some survival once again. I started this off just like usual by chopping some wood. Then, I moved on to making the first crafting table and the first pickaxe of the series. Then I followed it up with a quick detour to mine some stone. Well then, this path is definitely gonna lead up to a village, so we can get ourselves some bread. I love pillaging every single piece of wheat I can find in every village. This nice little farmland is probably gonna yield us, yep, some carrots and some potatoes. That's gonna come really handy. Some more wheat, cause why not? And yeah, that's gonna be more than a stack of bread. As I was exploring, I found yet another village, and of course I had to go and check it out. Let's see what this blacksmith has for us. Oh, a diamond, yes! Alright, that's great. I'll take this stone cutter, thank you. Okay then, I think this area is gonna be practically perfect. Let's place the crafting table, the furnaces, and the chests. I decided to remove some of the parts from the videos because I used to make 8 to 10 minute long tours of me just yapping about the builds, which of course wasn't interesting at all. So I thought for this compilation I would remove those parts and instead leave the parts with some action and or editing so you guys can have the interesting parts of the videos. So yeah, have fun watching. And it's finally time to sleep the first night in this world. Sweet dreams. Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna chuck everything into a chest right now. It doesn't have to be organized at all. It's fine. After finishing up at the base, I started mining. I got some granite, some coal, some andesite, and some iron. Let's see if we get lucky with the first egg of this series. And, of course, there's a chicken. Okay, then this guy's gonna just wander off. Why don't we put the iron to good use? Let's make ourselves a helmet, 2 pickaxes, and some shears. Now it was time to explore to find all of the wood types. I used chunk base to find every single biome I needed, and I went on to explore. I'm not gonna bore you with all the footage, but I found them all pretty quickly. Well, that trip was definitely worth my time. I found everything I needed, and now I'm ready to finally start working out a design for my starter base. I have no idea if I mentioned this at the beginning, but I have Zero's world map to help me navigate the world because I get lost very easily. It's about time I organize some of these chests. It's gonna be much easier for me to find what I'm looking for, and it's gonna make my experience much better. Well, I have no idea how I completely missed that, but yeah, at least I'm gonna get some free bones from this, and maybe even some skeleton horse heads. I'm gonna need a shield in this playthrough. I definitely want to keep one of these skeleton horses, even though you can't breed them. It's gonna be an interesting mount to have, definitely. This early in the game, I didn't think I'd find one. I'm just gonna chuck him into a hole right here, 2x2, very simple. Actually, just make it a bit wider. And yeah, this is gonna be Skelly's new home. I think I'm gonna get some work done on getting some grass and some dirt for the future, you know, plains transforming thing I'm gonna do. And let's just shape this a little bit out here, and then I'm gonna fill it in a bit later. Let's make a little well design. I have these stairs over here, and I'm just gonna put them like this. Let's make a square. Okay, that's not connecting. There we go. Now let's add in the spruce posts along the side and the mangrove trapdoors to top everything off. And now let's actually put the water in the well to create our infinite water source, and we are done. And it's perfect for me to make the first farmland of this series, because we're gonna need this for our little starter area. I'm gonna make 1 9x9 for wheat, 1 for carrots, 1 for potatoes, and 1 for beetroot. Here's the carrots, here's the potatoes, and of course, the beetroot. Let's continue our little farming spree with some animal pens. I think 2 should be enough, 1 for sheep and 1 for cows. I don't really need pigs or chickens at this point, so we're good. I moved on to collecting the sheep and putting them in the pen, and then of course doing the same with the cows. It's time to start my wood collection place. Let's get some bamboo, some jungle, dark oak, spruce, acacia, and cherry. Oh, and let's not forget about oak. I made myself a portal, and I think it's time to explore the nether for the first time. Let's see what spawn we get. Hopefully it's something good. And okay, nether wastes, nothing incredible. Yeah, this could use some work. After harvesting down all of the trees, I cleared out some of the remaining pods on the ground. And then I replaced it with just some normal dirt. Let's start getting some things for the house. I'm gonna need some sand for glass and for concrete powder. And then of course some clay for different pots and concrete powder. Our little item collection here is looking pretty good, and I'm near finished with gathering everything, and I can start building. I went underground to get some deep slate for a lot of different details, and some tuff, of course. The new star block of this update that I'm really excited to use in future builds. Okay, I'm in desperate need of some moss, so I found myself an azalea tree that I'm gonna dig under to find myself a lush caves biome. I ought to be getting pretty close. Of course there's water, and here it is, the beautiful green block known as moss. This is gonna be really useful. Also, there seems to be a mine shaft down there along with different scary mobs, and I think that's it. Let's get the blocks I need first, and let's start building this thing. Now it's on to fixing up a little bit of this interior. I'm gonna do probably the same thing that I did on top with the second floor. And let's get just some of these logs in here. The jungle, the dark oak now. I think that's okay. I might run out actually. I don't think I even have enough. But it's okay. I think this is gonna be a pretty good interior if I do say so myself. Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I will transform this barren looking plains biome into the most perfect and beautiful farming village, allowing me access to all of the crops in the game and fixing any food shortage I might have had. Without further ado, let's get started with the video. I've been marking out some little farmhouses I want to add to my farming village. Of course, this is just very rudimentary blocking in of shapes. It's not gonna look like this with finished product. I think that one is definitely gonna be something of a like barn, but it kind of looks small. Like it feels really small if I cram everything in here, so I'm not sure if this is gonna be final. But yeah, so like an animal barn, that's gonna be like a house for wheat, house for, you know, the drill, all of the crops. So yeah, I'll see where this gets me. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's see how it looks from up, or from above, sorry. We're gonna have to go on a little stone gathering trip. Might change that, it feels pretty weird right now. There we go, we have the water. Now let's... Oh, do I have slabs on me? I do not have slabs, but that is fine. After getting some more much needed stones like tuff, I went on to start building again. Just doing some work on the walls, and then going in with a little bit of the farmland and the roof. It was time to actually make a time lapse and talk about my process. As you can see, the build started off just as a little stone square. Then I added on this little dirt fence, which ended up being replaced by stone obviously, but I just wanted to have the idea of a shape. Then I added that little fence gate onto it, and I planted the actual carrots to have myself a steady supply. Now it was time to texture the walls. I went with some normal stone texturing with stone bricks, cobblestone, some lighter blocks like andesite and concrete powder, and then I moved on to the shading with the tuff and the deep slate. The roof was pretty easy. I used a similar color combination to what I had on the main build. And then I managed to detail the little stone fence with the leaves, and then I finished off the roof with some fences, different decorations like barrels, a little post with a lantern to give us some light, and some depth for the walls so it didn't look so flat. Okay, so I'm gonna need a lot of mud, so I'm thinking I will make a second portal going to the mangrove swamp, but I need some blocks to pillar with. I think we should almost be there. That's 76 more blocks. Okay, and here we are. I'm a bit off mark because I didn't want to waste a couple of blocks for nothing. And to make the turn over there, I just wanted to have a straight line. But yeah, this is going to be very easy to get mud now. I'm going to use a lot of it, so this is pretty needed. And yeah, I'm going to get some mud from the build, and we are set. In this little mini adventure of mine, I ended up gathering about 6 stacks of mud, which, with an unenchanted diamond shovel in the early game, I think is a pretty good achievement. Yeah, I'm getting pretty low on durability for things like my diamond pickaxe, and I don't really have any ores. Like, I don't have any diamonds to my name, and I think I'm just gonna chill, watch some shows, and do a multiple hour, or that's at least what I'm hoping for, mining adventure, but at first I gotta sleep. Okay, so after gathering quite a bit of cobblestone, I think I should be ready to start the project over here. I've already planned everything out in creative, and now it's just me having to gather a lot of materials and building it. It didn't take me long to get the materials I needed. Here are some highlights of the actual build. We have me building the roof, and then building part of the little silo tower on the side. And of course, I can't leave you guys without a little bit of a time lapse. Here you can see me making the trees and then working myself up to the barn and the little house on the side. I'm sorry about not having a lot of survival footage in my videos, but I'm still pretty new to this type of filming, and I need to get down a method of me filming and also having fun in the game. I have finished this little area. I hope I got some time-lapse footage for you guys over there to, you know, show you the actual process of me making this. We have a little house for the wheat farmer, and then over here we have the actual big barn. I also experimented with some trees to liven up the place, but there's still a lot more to do around here, which I'll probably do in the next few days / weeks. But yeah, we have the cows in one pen, pretty small pen, but it's gonna be alright for the early game. I don't really need a huge farm, and a sheep in the other one. So for the next step, I want to move this well over to here, because as I said in the previous video in the tour, it feels like the well is kind of owned by this house over here, which is my starter house, but I want it to be the village well so that people from the barn, or not, I don't think people live in the barn, but like people from the farmhouses can come over here, get water from the well, and go on their day. But for that, I need to move it a bit because right now it's way too close to this house. So let's do that. Okay, well, I definitely have enough coarse dirt and concrete powder to start putting in the path over here. So I'm going to do that. And then I think I'm going to move on to the trees, just like I did on the barn build. And finally, I will get back to you when I get to the house and the potato field. So to finish off this build, I think I'm gonna build a cart over here to haul up some wheat up to the hayloft. And maybe one day I'll even decorate the interior, but I'm not gonna make any promises. And I started building the little cart with just some jungle fence gates and some trapdoors to get the outline of the cart done. Then I used some hay bales to illustrate the hay being transported around the village, and I even expanded it because it looked too small for me in the beginning. I started breaking and reshaping some of the terrain behind the carrot house because I wanted to make a windmill for my enchanting setup. Yeah, that's the pretty big build of this episode. And so after I did all of this, it was time to plan. Okay, so I have the schematic for the windmill finished. And after I build it, I'm going to make some little rocks and some trees around it to give it some life, connect it around with some other roads maybe that lead up to it, and maybe even add some smaller fields around. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'm pretty glad with what we've managed to make, this whole little village over here. And yeah, let's get gathering and then building. Okay, so after amassing quite the amount of leather for the bookshelves and quite the collection of horse heads, I think it's time I make myself the enchanting setup for the windmill, which is the exact purpose of it. And there we go. Alright, we can now get level 30 enchants. Problem is I don't have level 30. So actually I might enchant my tools before I get to making the windmill. So, I kinda didn't film me getting this pickaxe on my first enchant. And so I'm gonna give you a faithful recreation. I just want you to use your imagination a little bit here. And
Yeah, so how it went, it was like this. I got me lapis, I got me a diamond pickaxe. Here we go, and, I don't even have level 5. Okay, imagine I click this, and then, poof, this appears. Oh, wow. Really? Fortune free? Amazing. Yeah, it went something like that. But yeah, no, for real, I didn't record it. And actually, let me not go outside so I don't spoil you the whole build that you haven't seen yet. And it was literally perfect. And I understand it looks kind of rigged, but cheating really takes away the fun of this game for me. So if that's a worry you've had, you should really not worry about that, because I'm not the type of person to cheat.
Of course, it was on to gathering stuff again, starting with some glowberries, getting into some light gray wool, some sand, and some mangrove wood. Luckily, most of the items that I needed I actually already had, so it was time to build the windmill. Here you can see me building up the walls, and then going up to the roof with the deep slate design, and incredibly enough, I died 3 times while building this windmill. Yeah, talk about classic David. I definitely want to talk about the design of this windmill. It's pretty different to all of the windmills that I've done so far. I'm probably going to put up a picture later if I remember saying anything about it, but I usually make all of the windmill blades basically the same. Here I tried a different design inspired by the amazing Ozander, and I definitely urge you to check him out. He's an awesome guy and a great Minecraft builder. Also, with the foliage under the roof, I think I implemented nature into this build pretty well. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Survival But Better. In today's episode, we're fixing the iron problem. And what better way to do that than with an iron farm? That's right, but before doing all of that, I'm gonna need the help of some friends. We're getting very close to hitting the 1,000 mark. So if you enjoy my content and you'd like to support me, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so before anything else, I'm gonna start by building the villager breeder. I'm gonna get the walls up, I'm gonna get the farmland in, and then I might even transport the villagers so that they're gonna be starting to breed by the time I finish the whole build. Okay, honestly, I have no idea why the zombie is here, but it's freaking hilarious. He's just like staying here looking at what's gonna be a wall. This was definitely the easy part, as making the cages for the house for the villagers and home for the zombie were gonna be much easier than actually getting the mobs into them. And I finished it off for now with just a little wooden part so I can get the villagers in and have them safely in there before I actually finish the whole build. So the plan is very simple. I'm going to use some composters to get the villagers close to my base, and then I'm going to transport them with minecarts into the villager breeder. But knowing villagers, this is going to be much easier said than actually done. First off, I'm going to actually have to break all of the workstations. Why are all of you just congregated into this little hole? What happened? You can't even get out. Okay, let's actually, you know what? Let's not free the villagers because they might be easier to get out from here. Let's trade, so we lock him in as a farmer. And now this guy is ours. Okay, and now we're just gonna use the carrots. Perfect, so we have villagers with locked trades as farmers. And now they're probably gonna follow composters. Let's see if I place one in here. They wanna go there? Yes, okay, perfect. Oh, look at you standing all triumphant on the composter. Oh, you're gonna serve me so good. Might as well get these pumpkins while I'm waiting for them to come over here. They're very, very slow. It surprisingly didn't take me that long to get the villagers close to my home. But then something else happened, and villagers started showing their true colors once again. Night came, so in order to protect the villagers, I went to sleep. But when I woke up, how did you get so far away from where you just were 2 seconds ago? I swear, these villagers are just super powered. You see what I mean? Suddenly they're just absolutely refusing to get to their workstation. Oh, he's going into the freaking cave! Oh, that guy's... okay. I think I can work with this. That is his forever home. Come on, go in. Please. There we go. Now this guy, please make your way over here. What is he doing? There we go. Perfect. Finally. Before night comes and I can get the zombie into the hole, I'm gonna actually start gathering the items for the villager breeder so we can decorate it and make it look nice. So let's look for a zombie. Since I don't have a name tag, I'm just gonna be putting him into a minecart so he does not despawn.
And of course, whenever I need a zombie, they're nowhere to be seen, but if I don't, they're always here to annoy me. Classic Minecraft. You gotta love it. Okay, this looks like a joke. There's seriously absolutely no zombies spawning anywhere close. Come on. Please get into the minecart. Please, 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 come on. Oh, no, okay. Got him. Okay, perfect. I need to move fast before anything else spawns in, and let's get you into the hole. There we go. Okay, plan worked. That's perfect. Wow, I didn't expect it to be that easy. He's in there. Let's cover him with some dirt for now, and let's go sleep before a creeper explodes everything and ruins my life. Since we're going to be curing villagers pretty soon, a good side project would be finding another fortress. Okay, here we are. This is going to be very dangerous because apparently I'm dumb and I don't have a shield on me. But yeah, I'm going to just get a couple of blaze rods and I'm out of here because I don't want to risk dying in the nether. I hate dying in the nether so much. There we go. Okay, we're out. That's literally all I need. It's more than enough. More than enough. Now for the secondary reason I'm in the nether, let's go get some bone meal from the soul sand biomes. I'm gonna go find some bone blocks. And finally we are here. Let's get quite a bit of them because I'm gonna need them in the future as well. And I hate trips to the nether, as I'm sure I've already reminded you so many freaking times.
Continued my block hunting adventure by cutting down a lot of trees. Yeah, deforestation. Amazing, right? But I did need to stock up on all of the wood types so that I didn't have to worry about them in the future. And then I went to the swamp next to the mangrove forest to get myself some easy clay. Of course, I finished stocking up the rest of the materials and then it was finally time to get building. To keep things similar to the entire village, I kept the blocks very simple and easy to get. As for the starter village, I think it would be very important to have it be easy to make. For later projects, it's going to be awesome to make them harder and use more sophisticated blocks, but for now I think this is going to do just simple woods and stones, and maybe some accent blocks here and there like the mangrove and the cherry planks that I used on this build, but everything else should just be simple blocks. Alright, so the villager breeder is now completely done. I have the beds in here, I have the villagers which are generating ourselves a very good flow of just villager babies, and then I have the zombie over here in the minecart so it doesn't despawn. That will help us zombify and cure all of them. As you can see, it's generated quite a few of them, so we're set to start the next project, the iron farm. So before actually making the iron farm, I need to dig the iron farm. In theory, the farm was pretty simple. You would have a bigger hole where the iron golems would spawn and then they would die in lava, and under there, hidden underground, you would have a different hole for the villagers and the zombies. Now, even though in theory this is simple, in practice you'll see I had way too much trouble with the actual farm part of this design. And of course, I have to mention the creator of this farm, INXO4. Without him, this wouldn't even be possible. Transferring the villagers from the breeder to the actual iron farm was very easy. The hard part would come once I began adding zombies into the equation. Anyway, the moral of the story is because of how stupid villagers are, I had to make so many changes before I actually got a farm that worked. But in the end, I did, so that's all that matters. Right now, the villagers are plenty scared, the zombie is far enough from them so that they won't get turned, and everything should be working fine for the farm. Now I just need to wait and start gathering the materials to build the exterior. Yep, let's get gathering again. Is that a cat? Okay guys, side quest. How could anyone in their right mind look at a cat in Minecraft and not want to get it for themselves? Well, I got a salmon head. We can add that to the collection. And I lost a cat. Yeah, it just kinda disappeared. And it is nowhere to be found. So I'll just keep the fish. Now let's get the barrels down and let's start collecting the materials I need to complete this build. This was another classic case of me gathering everything from andesite to light gray wool to leaves to logs to anvils to whatever you could think of. I probably gathered it right here for this build. But I don't want to bore you with so much gathering every video, so it's just going to be a couple of short sequences and then we'll get right to the building part, which is the actual interesting part. But just so you know, the iron farm started working and it produced enough iron for me to call it pretty efficient for the beginner stage of the game. Of course, in late game we're probably going to upgrade it and make it a bigger iron farm so it produces more, but for right now I am very satisfied with what we've got. Okay, well, just like usual, I have everything gathered up. This was quite extensive as there was a lot of things to get because I'm also going to build a lot of trees to fill up the area, as well as the pathway going to the blacksmith and the cart. That's going to be eventually expanded this way, but that is going to be for the future. And as for the farm, I got it working. The iron golems are spawning and they are making ourselves some iron. And so let the building commence once again. I don't have much to say for this build except that I used quite a variety of blocks and details as opposed to my other builds so far, and I'm very happy with how it turned out in the end. I can't believe how good everything came together with the farm and everything, and now I'll just leave you with the nice building montage in the background. It would feel wrong not to go with tradition and finish off the building for today's episode with some foliage, like some trees, even some newer smaller trees, and some extra vegetation like bushes and stones on the ground. Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Survival But Better. This video has taken 4 months to produce due to my burnout, and I'm very sorry for that. But I hope it's gonna suffice for all of the hardships I went through while filming and making this video. And the next ones are gonna be so much better than everything I've done so far, or at least that is my goal. So without further ado, let's get on building. Somehow these idiots got zombified, and since I need villagers for today's project, I needed to cure them. Okay, and just like I said in the intro, I want to do something different with today's episode. I know it's been a while since I posted, but I've been running really low on time. I was really busy. But those are just details. And come on, any second now. Okay, well, I'm really dumb. It seems I did not foresee the fact that since they wouldn't be cured at the same time, one of them is just gonna zombify the other one again. So we are gonna have to do everything again. So this time I'm gonna make sure they're isolated. Well, I've started the build on the string duper and the actual string farm with the villagers on top. And I can say that the string duper is actually working. As you can see, it's working perfectly fine, and I think I'm gonna let this run until I fill these 4 chests so I have some string for the future to trade with. And yeah, let's continue with the build. Even though this build is a very simple and kind of bland build, it is very important for the village because it allows me to get infinite emeralds, and it is a pretty alright XP source. Okay, I must say, this video's production was absolutely horrible. Besides taking actual months, because I got burnt out of playing this game for like a whole 3 full months, I lost a lot of footage. Yeah, I built this whole thing, that whole thing's exterior. You're gonna see a little bit of me building the interior right after this clip. And I also built a little thing over there. And when I tried to edit the flashback, the thing that helps me record time lapses and such, when I wanted to edit those clips, they were just corrupted. Like, they were just corrupt. I opened them and all that was shown was a black screen. So to pseudo make up for that, I'm gonna give you a tour and show you what I built. Yeah, this is a really weird video. Hopefully the next ones are gonna be on par with my past few episodes, but there's really nothing I can do. I tried a lot of different methods to recover the files, going on different older saves or different folders of my instance to try and see if I can get the flashback footage to run well, but I really couldn't find anything. The most I could find was some footage when I built this, and you will have that in the video, and also a bit of that interior, but not a lot. So yeah, this is my Fletcher thing with my string duper, where I get my emeralds and my current level farm, I guess. This produces a lot of string. I mean, I don't know if there's anything left here, but no, I used it all. I use it very fast because these guys are some pretty greedy villagers. But yeah, these are just fishermen. As you can see, I've basically mastered all of them because I've traded a lot. And they have this string trade, which allows me to get infinite emeralds. Yeah, I really like the exterior of this build. I like the roof when where I implemented moss into the stone. I think it gives it a pretty nice color. But yeah, not the most complicated build whatsoever. And also I like this, I gave it this little like archery outcrop thing where you can, you know, shoot your bow, I guess. Wow, incredible. But yeah, this is just like a nice detail to go with the build. Okay, then we have the centerpiece of today's video, which I will get to a bit later. Or a bit later, which is like in a couple of seconds, because this is gonna take a really short amount of time to show you. But I added this to the blacksmith, which is the last video you guys saw. This is where my 3 trading villagers are: the armorer, the toolsmith, and the weaponsmith. And they give me infinite diamond tools. So I basically have everything set if I ever need tools and enchants. But yeah, that's the second thing that I really built in this video. This is a really, it's kind of built in a very different style. As you can see, like these are pretty obviously medieval style builds, or like medieval-ish. But this kind of seems even modernish, kind of like, not modernish, but you know, I don't know a lot of architecture terms to be fair with you guys, but it just kind of seems different. But this is basically supposed to be something of a town hall. And so I wanted to make it look very different, very, you know, important, like for different important people like the mayor or stuff like that to come in here and actually do stuff. Why is this there? That is not supposed to be there. But yeah, so let me show you inside. There's supposed to be a couple of paintings over here, but I did not get to actually doing those. And here we have all of these villagers. So there's a zombie somewhere. I think he's underground. I'm gonna have to dispatch him. I have an extra storage room here. I did not know what to do with the interior. I might change it in the future if I get some ideas, or if you guys have some ideas, feel free to leave them down in the comments. But yeah, this is kind of just like a storage room that I might begin to use because my little one in the starter house is getting pretty crowded and filled up. So yeah, we have all the enchants I could ever need, and that is how I got these bad boys over here. Perfect tools in my opinion, except I don't have a fortune pickaxe, or if I do, I think it's in my tool chest. So yeah, that's about it, and I will let you go on with the video. I'm sorry for all of the inconveniences for this video, but I hope I'm gonna make up for it in future videos. Okay, so I've been making some progress on the villagers. At least the western wing of the villager trading thing is done. It just happened. Okay, anyway, so I already have feather falling right here. They're not all 1 emerald trades, but I mean, it's fine. We have unbreaking, fortune. This one is power. Of course, this also unlocks lantern trades, and I think glass trades, but I'm not sure. Aqua affinity, and I just got respiration. Now for these two, they are a bit stubborn, and I'm not gonna have all the enchants in the game. It's just the ones that I'm gonna use for now. If later I'm gonna use some more enchantments, I'll of course make a huge library. I'm also recently playing a lot of Elden Ring, and it is very inspiring because that game is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I have not played a more beautiful game than Elden Ring in terms of graphics. And there is a giant library in that game, and I think I can get some inspiration from that, and it'll help me get a design going. But that is in the far future. It's taken me so long to produce this video because I just felt really burnt out on Minecraft, and I'm sorry for that. Death Strider, there we go. Okay, that's perfect.
Now the next step was actually curing the east wing of villagers. And let me tell you, I absolutely hate working with zombie villagers, even though it doesn't seem that hard. They sometimes just die if I'm not being careful, or they might kill me, and then that's annoying because I lose levels. But in the end, it all turned out okay, and I started the process to get the enchants I wanted in the east wing as well.
I did it. I got every single achievement that I think I'd need, and honestly, I gave up when finding sharpness. I found the sharpness for like once, then I didn't find it again for like another 1,000 uses of an axe. I actually broke an axe before I finished. And so next time I got it, I just settled for it. I mean, I'm here since like 5 and it's nearly 7. So yeah, that's almost 2 hours straight of just breaking this damn lectern and waiting for the villager to get a sharpness enchant. And I think this is gonna do all right. I mean, it's not too expensive. I also hit him once by accident, so it's 1 emerald more expensive, but it's fine. Okay, so we have all of the emeralds, all of the villagers. Now it's time to get all of the enchants and get my gear as enchanted as I can, of course, limited by the amount of levels that I have. So let's go do that.
Alright, so this whole villager thing is now finished. I went ahead and enchanted all of my gear. This took quite a while because I had to get levels from the fletching, or I mean the string reaper farm. But in the end, it is all great. We have a bow with power 5, flame, and infinity. All the best enchants that you could ever think of. This is why I love villagers, even though I hate them because they're stupid sometimes. But it's okay. It pays off, as you can see. With this gear, we can actually just go ahead and start gearing up, or not gearing up because the gear is already here, but we can start getting some of the ender eyes and finding the first stronghold. So the first step to that is going to the nether and killing some endermans, or I could go on the route of making a cleric villager and trading with them for the ender eyes, or for the ender pearls, sorry. And yeah, that's another path, or I could just go into the nether and kill some endermans. So I think I'll try the enderman route right now, and let's go into the nether.
Okay, so I kind of lied to you. I did go into the nether, and I did try to get the ender pearls that way, but then I quickly figured out it was going to be very slow, so I got a cleric villager and quickly got myself 15 eyes of ender. Hopefully that is enough. I mean, I could try to be a bit more safe, get a couple more, just so I don't regret it, and I think that's actually a pretty good idea. So I'll show you the cleric villager as well. And here he is. This is my cleric who sells ender pearls, but it seems he's having trouble restocking the trade. Okay, that is not the most ideal thing right now. Please, maybe do it. Come on, for me. You know what? I'll just go with the 15 and hope I do not get exceedingly unlucky. Okay, let's see if the ender eyes direction changed at all. Nope, it is still in the exact same area. Well, this stronghold was being really stubborn. I kept climbing mountains, walking around, even swimming, and it was absolutely nowhere. Alright, so the stronghold is most definitely around here because I keep seeing the ender eye switching locations, so let's start digging down. It seems this stronghold is actually in the deep dark biome, so I'm out of here. And of course, there is one ender eye that I'm missing because, as usual, I'm very unlucky. So now I gotta go all the way back home, come back with another ender eye, and complete the portal in order to be able to enter and fight the boss. So yeah, I'll see you after that. Okay, so after a trip back home, I am right back with the last ender eye, and let's... Wow, yeah, that is amazing. So it's time for us to enter the end dimension. You've probably seen this fight a million times, so I'm not gonna talk a lot through it, but I'll try and at least have some segments of talking. So yeah, let's go. Few more arrows and it's done. Let's get this. 1, 2, come on, 3, and there it is. The ender dragon falls once again, as per usual. Not the hardest of boss fights, honestly. I mean, after we play Elden Ring, what the hell is gonna be hard at all? We get ourselves a free amount of XP, a pretty good amount of XP. Let's repair those tools and the armor. And now the end is open for us to explore through the end gate right there and to get ourselves the Elytra. I do want to get the egg, so maybe if I get one of these torches. Boom, let's make a teleport and let's get it right here. Boom. And the next generation, the dragon egg.
we'll definitely find a place to put that in our village.
Okay, so honesty is something really important to me, and that is why I'm gonna actually tell you that this is not the first time I'm getting the Elytra. The first time I did get it was recorded on the same day, which is actually today, but I died. I fell into the void like a very dumb person because I'm very good at the game, and I lost everything. Now, it's not an issue of me not being able to find another end city or getting back my tools. It just would have taken a very long time. I'm coming from probably the worst burnout I've ever experienced when talking about Minecraft, which was about like three months long. I did not play this game at all because I just didn't feel like it, and having to grind again for hours to get all the XP, I think it would have just pushed me again into another burnout because I would have left this project, and I really want to keep posting on this channel. So I think this time, for me at least, this is what works for me. I took the liberty of going back onto a backup of my world and just getting the Elytra again and not dying this time. So yeah, that is everything. I just wanted to get it out of the way. I want to be honest. I want to tell you everything I do in the world without detours, without anything. And it's not like I spawned myself a full netherite beacon. I just accelerated what would have taken a very long time and what would have likely impeded me from finishing this video. And with that, I'll let you continue on to the end.
All that was left to do was actually get back home because the stronghold was about 1,000 blocks away. And after that, our adventure for this video has come to an end.
Okay, so I got home, I traded for the unbreaking and the mending books, and now it's time to finally enchant our first Elytra of this playthrough. Here we go, unbreaking 3. And mending, and I still have 60 levels remaining, so that is pretty amazing. We have the full gear that we would ever really need. We have an iron farm, we have really good tools, villagers, so I think we're set up to actually start some building projects. Well, you reached the end of the video, and as promised, the free world download is available on Patreon. You can find a link to it in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to see more, check out my other videos that I have on my channel. If not, I'll see you on the next one.